Hey everyone. So today the theme is going to be defending while keeping your opponent weak. So in this game I'm black and I'm playing a OGS 6Q. This move, I think he probably should just push like this, I jump and then he can Tanuki somewhere. But instead he just backed off and letting him press down doesn't feel too good, so I just went ahead and played this one, and he still gets Sente, but I get a little bit more potential. He attaches. So here, this Hane is very important, because not only is it making your group stronger, but it's threatening to take the base away of white. So if white Tanukis, you can either do this one or this one, and then when you play here, this group is potentially weak. But he defends, and then I need to defend my group. Okay, so he approaches. I just back off again aiming at some potential here. He needs to make a base, and then I should be able to enclose my corner. But he played high. So if I didn't close my corner, and then he tries something like this, he has a pretty nice base. There's some Aji, but not too much. So instead of enclosing, since all my groups are already strong, I played here, which is threatening the base of this group, and it's also still kind of expanding from the corner. And he doesn't really have a good move to defend. Like if he just jumps here, I can just jump out. Again, this area is getting bigger. Maybe I can kick first and then jump, and I'm defending my corner. His group's not alive yet, and I'm getting potential over here. But instead, he didn't defend, and instead jumped into this area. And this group is strong. This group is probably my weakest group. And this group is still pretty good because it can run this way or run out. And this group is weak. So I want to defend this group. And I don't want to like kick like this, even though this might work. But I'm making this group a little bit stronger to where maybe he can just defend this group. So instead, I just jumped here. And he doesn't really have a good move. If he connects like this, I can kind of jump here and put pressure on this stone. And this group is not 100% alive yet. But instead he jumped into the corner. A good way to keep your opponent's stones weak and your stones strong is to cut and connect. So I played this one, which is aiming at connecting to this stone, and it's also cutting this stone. And as long as this stone is weak, I don't have to worry as much about my group. He defended his corner, which is good. Playing something like this is a little bit too slow. So instead I just kind of enclose my corner while trying to connect to this stone. So if he were to try something like this, he has a harder time trying to attack this stone. And this group is pretty weak, so I probably would need to jump out and put pressure on this stone. So a lot of times what you want to try to do, at first you just want to defend your weak groups and make sure you're very good at defending. But then after a while, you're going to hit a kind of a wall. And then the next step is you want to keep your group strong while keeping your opponent's groups weak. And do that without overplaying. So here he doesn't really defend anything, so he creates another weak group. So this stone is my weakest stone. And this group is, like I said, if he does kind of push down or cut it off, there's a chance it can get weak. So I'm just trying to connect my stones together. And by doing that, it's keeping this weak, and this weak. And I'm getting stronger. He tries to push here, but it doesn't quite work too well because I got stronger here. He has a push and cut he has to worry about, but I don't want to let my group get surrounded. So I try to jump out here, which again is separating his two weak groups. He tries to run out, but as he's running out, he's making his own group stronger or weaker and making my group stronger. So I just Hane here, which again is keeping his two weak groups separated. And then I turn here because this group is still pretty weak. This group is okay because even if he peeps, I run out, I have some eye shape, so it shouldn't get into too much trouble. He plays here. So now I block because this group is very weak and I don't want to let him just connect too easily. The other thing is his corner is also getting weaker. Like if I play a Hane here and turn here, there's a chance his corner can get into trouble. So he Hanes to try and fix, but then that gives me Sente. So again, from this group, I jump out to protect it, but at the same time, because his group's weak here and here and here, it's also, just by defending my group, I'm putting pressure on his. And that's kind of the goal you want to get to, is when you're defending, you're also attacking. He tries to get out. This group is a little bit weak, but if I try to just push out and jump out like this, he blocks. He's probably going to live here, and he makes a lot of points. So instead, I push here, which is getting rid of that potential base, and at the same time is defending my group, and is also threatening to connect to this one. So he pulls back, trying to make some eye shape and cut this off. So I just Hane. And again, I could Tanuki here, but then he can go here, and he's starting to make some eye shape. And when he plays here, it's Sente, because he can threaten to capture and make an eye. So I push here once to get rid of that weakness there. And if he runs out, he doesn't really have any eye shape, so his group stays weak, and he has to run out. He blocks here in the game. And now that I got my group strong, his group is still weak, then I again can just defend this group while trying to surround. Even though this probably shouldn't be able to live, but even if it does, black will get stronger here, and then he has this weak group that he now has to worry about too. So he pushes here, I just stay connected, tries to wedge, I just defend my cutting point. And this cut is more important, because if I defend over here and he cuts, even though I think this still doesn't work for white, but this is the heavier group, so this is the group I don't want to lose. So it's better to protect the cut from that side. This stone's a little bit lighter, but again, it doesn't quite work, because I just Atari and connect, and he has another weak group, and I'm out to the center, and this is almost connected, or I can kill. But here he just focuses on living. He pushes once, I just extend to get rid of all Aji. And if I try really, really hard to kill, he can just play here, and he's already pretty much alive. So instead, I just play the Knight's move, which is like, this group's already strong, I can't really attack it. So I'm just going to let him connect. So there's still some Aji here he has to worry about later, but my group is 100% alive, and he doesn't really make any points here. I get some center potential now, and I have Sente. So I push here, because now this is my weakest group, and I also want to keep some pressure on this stone. If I try to do something over here, maybe he can peep here and run out, and even if I kill this, maybe he can do some damage in the corner. So I don't want to let him use this stone too effectively. So I want to defend and put pressure on this group, and if he lets me capture it, it's quite big. He extends, and then I just solidly connect here. So now if he runs out, then I have a pretty strong wall here. And he has a weak group, so that makes this even stronger. If this was a strong group, maybe this could be considered weak, because there's some peeps here and cuts, and it just kind of looks like a stick with no eyes. But he doesn't have time to do that, because he has to worry about his weak group. But instead of defending, he tries to play at the corner. And here, I'm just going to try and make a wall. I'm not going to try and kill or separate. Because if I do this one, he can push out, and then there's some cutting points and Aji in the corner. So I'm just going to play solidly and keep all my stones connected. And it also has a hard time living as well. I can probably even play a jump here, and I think it's just dead. But instead, I just did this one. He Hanes. There's still some Aji here where it's not alive yet, but I just leave it for now, and then I jump here. And at this point, he kind of resigns. But yeah, I think that's about it. And if you're interested, on my Patreon, pretty soon I will be starting a league. At first, it'll be pretty small, so I'll probably play everyone at least once, and then I'll review the games, and the winner of the league, whoever gets the most points, I'll give a free lesson to. And then as it gets bigger, then I probably won't play as much, but I'll still review most of the games, if not all of them. And but yeah, just let me know in the comments what you think about that, and I will see you all next time.